Viewers, the curtain is about to go up on one of the most closely contested US elections in recent history. In just a few hours, the world will know whether Trump returns to office after 4 years or if America will elect Kamala Harris, its first woman president in history, and that too of Indian origin. And in close elections, let me tell you, it's the margins that matter, and it won't surprise you to know that in 2020, the Indian American community played a pivotal part in at least 5 states where their population exceeded the winning vote margin. And I'll pull those graphics up for you on the screens, viewers. These 5 states where the Indian community had more numbers than the winning margin were Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. And it appears that in an election where both the contestants, Trump and Kamala Harris, are tied almost to the last decimal point, depending on which poll you look at, and all the results are in that margin ±3 standard margin of statistical error, it will be the Indian community that might tip the balance. Again, is that a fact? Let's go straight across to some people who understand, who know this. We're also going to be joined by Shalabh Kumar and Zaka Jacob. Zaka, sorry to keep you waiting. We just got a bit stretched in the last conversation, but just wanted to ask you this. The Indian community, I suppose, has a bit of a dilemma on its hand. Here you have somebody who professes great love for India, Trump, and Hindus, and you know, you've heard him speak, and he recently tweeted. And on the other hand, you have Kamala Harris, who's of Indian origin. And you know, this is a golden opportunity to put someone of Indian origin in the White House.
So you're right, Rahul. I think it's a difficult choice for the Indian American community. There are about 2.5 million of them who are U.S. citizens who are eligible to vote. And there's, of course, about 2 million of them who are essentially H-1B visa holders who are here on work, on green card, and so on, who are not eligible to vote. But I think just like we're seeing in all other communities, whether it's the African American community, the Hispanic American community, the Indian American community too is divided. This is a community which has been sort of very largely Democratic favoring over the years. They voted in big numbers for Obama. They voted in big numbers for Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton, of course, the Clintons have a long association with India. And in this election, they are divided because a good number of them are supporting Trump. For the same issues that other communities in America seem to be supporting him, which is one, the economy. Ordinary Americans are feeling the pinch of grocery bills, of high fuel prices, just the cost of living expenses going up manifold in the last 4 years. They're also worried about the wars and the knock-on effect that the wars are having on the economy here in the US. So they're worried about those things. Right. And some of those people in the Indian American community want to back Trump. But there's also the history of the 4 years that Trump was president. And I distinctly remember on the H-1B visa issue, Trump took a very strident anti-H-1B position, particularly on those who are dependent on their spouses for staying on in the United States. He stopped them from working. That was overturned by the Biden-Harris administration. So that could be, again, a swing issue for many in the Indian American community. Right. Ultimately, you know, this community too, just like I said, has been divided like all other communities
let me
US
bring
in
in someone
easily the closely fought election.
Okay, just stay on with me. Let me bring in someone who has played a pivotal role to galvanize American Hindus for Trump. And we are joined by Shalabh Kumar. Shalabh Kumar, how split is the Indian community, if at all? What do you think?
Well, our people are smart enough to realize that Kamala is a Hindu and Indian name only. She has been opposed to the Hindu and Indian interests. She has been opposed to Prime Minister Modi. She has been very critical of him in the past when the Article 370 and 35 were repealed. She is surrounded by advisors that are pro-Pakistani. They want Azad Kashmir, as they call it. And so she became, let's say, a little bit Indian just maybe a week ago.
Okay, a week ago.
And particularly after the tweet, Diwali tweet by President Trump. And other than that, she has never considered herself to be a Hindu and Indian American. She's always described herself as a Black American. So having just a name Kamala is not going to make the difference.
Okay, so let me ask you, because you talk about Article 370 and 35A, that happened in 2019. In 2020, she was a running mate for Biden. Yet the Indian community, and the numbers are there right before you, in fact, we've just put them out on the screens, did vote for her. And of course, Mr. Biden by extension, despite the fact that there was the big Howdy Modi, Trump, bonhomie and all of that, there was a big bump that Mr. Trump got. Why was that then the case?
Because at that time it was Joe Biden who was a little more moderate, but Kamala's positions are a lot stronger against not just the Hindu and Indian American interest, but also she is way to the left. People have to be reminded where she grew up. Her father, Donald Harris, is a Marxist. Her mother, Shamla, was a communist sympathizer and a socialist. Particularly the voters in the Hindu and Indian American community realize what a socialist India did from 1947 to 1991 when growth was pitiful, and what happened to Indian economy after 1991. Reforms were made, and
India. Look, I mean, I understand that these factors will play a role, but let me just bring in Zaka once more. Zaka, do you see the Indian community voting as a monolith this time, or is that sort of overemphasized?
No, I think the community is divided, no doubt about it, just like every other community. Last time too, I mean, people were talking about, a lot of people in the Indian community will vote for Trump, because of the Howdy Modi event. I think there's very little evidence to show that, at least in the 2020 election. A bulk of the Indian community voted for the Democrats. And that's because historically, the Indian community has been aligned with the Democrats. This time around, and I think even on the issue of immigration, the Indian community is all for legal immigration. The Trump campaign has made illegal immigration one of the number one issues in this campaign, and that is resonant with some folks in the Indian community, because the Indian community feels the reason why the political establishment, particularly the Republican establishment, has gone so hard on illegal immigration is actually costing legal immigration by Indians as well. Right. So I think there are some folks to whom that message resonates. Whether that actually moves the needle in terms of numbers, we'll have to wait and see. I just think I just feel like a larger number of Indian Americans will still vote Democrat because of historical reasons, because of their slightly more lenient posture when it comes to immigration. And like I said, they're just better organized at the Indian American community than the Republicans are. Some of them will vote for Trump, but that's just a Trump vote.
Okay. Well, viewers, I said less than 12 hours, in fact, at this time tomorrow, the American election will be well underway. People will be voting. And Zaka Jacob and the rest of us here will get you minute-to-minute updates. We leave it at this. Thank you for watching.